Our next guest is the 1989 Heisman Trophy winner. He's the analyst for the game on ESPN2 tonight, and he is a fan of Bam Bams. He is the one and only Andre Ware. Welcome to the program, Andre.
Thanks, guys. I'm definitely a fan of Bam Bam. So, Provo, that's a spot I'm dropping my anchor and having some good barbecue.
That's awesome. Cam does it well there. We hope you're in town for BYU Oklahoma State, so we'll see later in the year.
Yeah.
But we've got a fun one tonight. It's an SMU team that's now Power 4, struggled against Nevada, dominated FCS foe Houston Christian. BYU played well against Southern Illinois. What do you make of this matchup on the surface?
When we looked at this game, it has the potential on paper to be one of the best that we'll have all year. I think they're just so equally matched. They go about their business in totally two different ways, but on paper, it's almost identical. Two talented quarterbacks. Both teams have talented quarterbacks. Wide receivers are plentiful in this game, and then the running game for both teams is going to be extremely critical. So BYU wants to run it behind an experienced offensive line. The strength of SMU's team, though they want to run it, is their receivers. They've got about 6 that could be number ones at a lot of places, and they spread the ball around. So they keep you guessing defensively. On defense, they'll come after you a little bit. They'll mix some looks. Preston Stone is the starter, obviously, but Kevin Jennings is equally as talented. So they go too deep there and can move it around. And then with BYU, I think Jake Retzlaff has done a heck of a job of just kind of taking care of the football this year. They put a little bit more on his plate and opened up the playbook to him, and he's responded and had a great performance last week against Southern Illinois.
Andre, a 2-quarterback system is frankly much maligned. It hasn't worked often for many teams, but SMU feels very confident that they have figured out how to use both of their talented quarterbacks in Preston Stone and Kevin Jennings, who you just referenced. Why do you feel like SMU is an outlier and that it works for them with this 2-quarterback system?
Well, I think it works because the two guys know going in that the other's going to play. Preston's going to be the starter. He'll take the first couple of series, and then there's a package for Kevin when he comes in the game as well. And so I think both are just equally as talented. Kevin Jennings, I have a ton of respect for, and I was teasing Rhett, their head coach, this week about keeping him on campus because a lot of people wanted him to enter the transfer portal, and he'd be a starter at a lot of places. He's that talented and that dynamic. But it just seems to work here when both guys kind of buy into it, and that's what you have to have is buy-in from both individuals in order for it to work. That's happening at SMU.
When you look at this matchup and BYU, an 11.5-point dog, which feels like kind of a big number to us. Maybe that's based off last year still a little bit. Got to prove yourself against FBS, P4 competition. If BYU pulls off the upset, what happened in the game in your opinion?
I don't know if it's an upset because SMU's never beaten BYU. I don't know how that upset, how Vegas sees this game. But I agree with you. When we talked to Kalani Sitake this week, there was an energy about him that I did not see last year. I haven't seen in years past. He's excited about this football team. He's excited to get them to game day and to see what they're going to do. And when a coach feels that way, he knows he's got a good product to put on the field. I think this is a bowl team. I think the schedules makers didn't do him any favors, but I think definitely they can do some things with this schedule. They get by Wyoming next week. And that's a tough game at Wyoming and Laramie. I played there. That's a tough environment to go into and play because that's all that's there. And so they'll be wired and ready for that one. But I think they win this week. They get by Wyoming. They're well on their way to a bowl trip. And I think competing for a Big 12 title at some point. I don't underestimate this team. If they can stay healthy, they're big enough, they're fast enough to hold up in the Big 12. They're playing some good football, and they've got an experienced quarterback now in his second year. So that gives them a chance.
Andre Ware is with us on BYU Sports Nation, Heisman Trophy winner in 1989. Andre, where does each team hold an advantage and a clear advantage over each other tonight? We'll begin with BYU and then have you talk about SMU after that.
Yeah, I think SMU's got to prove that they can get it done in the trenches defensively. And with BYU's big, experienced offensive line, I know that was kind of a liability last year with a bunch of injuries, having to play a lot of young players. Well, those players have grown up. They filled out. They still have Connor Pay in the middle, calling things up front for him. So I think this is the advantage for BYU would be the offensive line and the running game. If they could get LJ Mark going in the running game. And then for SMU, if they're spreading it around, if they're hitting different receivers, catching you, maybe thinking one way, and then all of a sudden R.J. Maryland is up the seam or in the middle of the field, they've got legitimately 6 playmakers on the outsides and in the slots that can play along with R.J. Maryland, their tight end. They can get that going and keep you guessing defensively, then they can be a problem.
What's the vibe for you as a Texas guy with SMU now in a Power 4 conference? I mean, you could say they used to be in a Power League. Before it was the Power 6 and then 5 and now 4. They don't have TV revenue, but they got that money, that $159 million they raised. Hey, we don't need that TV money. We're good. We got that oil drip. What's the vibe there? Because they didn't have a huge crowd last week. There is support. It's financial. It's maybe not butts in the seats. But now they're in a Power 4 league, but they're all over the country. What's kind of the vibe for you of SMU football now?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a misnomer last weekend because of the opponent that they were playing, Houston Christian. They don't travel, and then SMUs, you may or may not show up for that game. I think this week they'll be there and they'll pack it. The vibe around here is it's very positive. There are a lot of guys, a lot of Cowboy players come to practices, a lot of celebrities, Maverick players come out to see practices. It's kind of the place to be. It's the hip place to be, so to speak, in Dallas. And they've done a nice job of kind of building a fence around Dallas, making it known that even if you go away somewhere else, you always have a home to come back to. And recruits and players, they do that. It's splintered all throughout their roster with guys that are from the Dallas area that have gone other places, Ohio States and Northwesterns, and obviously Miami, because they're sprinkled all over this roster. But they come back home, and they know that. And so that's how Rhett has been able to build this thing, and I think it's sustainable for the foreseeable future.
Andre, we know R.J. Maryland is one of the top 3 tight ends in all of college football. He's a future NFL guy. My question is, how in the world should BYU try and defend him to limit his production tonight?
Yeah, the thing, close the middle of the field. You can't have 2 high safeties and play cover 2 against a guy like that, because he's a matchup nightmare with your linebackers. He's going to outrun just about every linebacker. He's going to out-physical a defensive back if you try to put him on him. He's virtually unstoppable. And I was surprised after the game that he had against Nevada. He only had 1 catch last week, but that's because everybody else was going off and all the concentration was on R.J. Maryland. So I think he's somewhere in between 11 catches and obviously the 1 catch, and they would like to see him be a big part of this offense. He is a dynamic weapon that is, as I mentioned, a nightmare matchup for opposing defenses. But I think if you close the field, force him up the seam a little bit more, don't leave the middle of the field open, because he knows how to read defenses. He knows how to get himself open, and he is dynamic when the ball is in his hands.
I think BYU's Sam linebacker Isaiah Glasker could match up with him, 6'5", super athletic. That could be a fun matchup in the middle of the field, as you mentioned. He took over that Nevada game, Maryland, and he was amazing. I want to ask you about something that a few years ago you ID'd before almost anybody else. You said when Zach Wilson, I believe it was a sophomore, you said this is an NFL guy early in that year. What did you see about Zach that you knew would translate to eventually become the number 2 pick?
Zach just plays free, and if he can reel in some of that a little bit, I think he's going to be just fine. I still like him as a player. The thing about the NFL, it's got to be the fit. Where you go, who are the coaches there, who are you being developed by, and who you're being coached by on a daily basis. And I don't know that was being done in New York. A tremendous amount of pressure in that environment for a young player. But he's got a fresh start in Denver. I think he will probably move on from Denver and then have a chance to start somewhere else. It worked that way for Teddy Bridgewater under Sean Payton in New Orleans. And I look for the same for Zach Wilson. I think he's a talented player that just needs to find the right fit.
Andre, I just want to know when you and Ty Detmer are going to get invited to be in a Heisman House commercial. When is that happening?
And what's crazy is I get asked about that almost daily or weekly. So my son asked me about family man. Everybody's asking me about that. I've been in one, and I don't know how the heck you get in another one. I've talked to the right people. I thought in New York at the Heisman announcement this past year, but it didn't happen this summer. So hopefully, fingers crossed that they'll bring the Cougars back and put them in the Heisman House. Both Cougars, myself and Ty.
That's what's up. And we kind of look back historically, right? And as these power leagues formed, you look back and you go, oh, the last two kind of non-power schools to get a Heisman were Ty Detmer and Andre Ware. What's the relationship like with Ty as you two went back-to-back Heismans in '89 and '90?
Yeah, he's a good friend, and we embrace every time we see one another. Have a long conversation. I can call Ty if I've got questions and things of that sort about the game because he's just so sharp. But he's a guy that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and just that he's a good friend and a guy that in that fraternity that I call a close friend.
That's awesome. Andre, best of luck on the call. We look forward to it at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Thanks for the time. Thank you guys for having me, and I'm looking for a good, hard-fought football game tonight. Us as well. Andre Ware of ESPN2 on BYU Sports Nation.